Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel. And welcome back to an episode of the Toronto Blue Jays Legends Fantasy Draft Series here on MLB The Show 24. We're wrapping up the season. We are wrapping up another season here in Toronto with the Legends Series. Last year, we lost in the ALDS. After in year number 2 winning the World Series. It's year number 4. We're currently 79-34, a 20-game lead over the New York Yankees with 2 months of baseball to be played. The record for most wins is on the table. I'm pretty sure 118 by the Seattle Mariners in like 2001, I want to say, 2002. It was around the early 2000s, I know for sure. I think it's 118 wins. So that is on the table. Very, very much so. Can we do it? I don't know. In the last episode, we did make a trade. We traded for Ken Griffey Jr., the younger, more athletic Ken Griffey Jr., traded from Cleveland. We traded away Joe DiMaggio and some other guys, I think. And we brought in the Griff. So that's nice to have him on the team. He'll probably swap in between Beltran when Beltran inevitably cools down like he usually does. Everybody else is playing fairly well. Even the DH, big dog Julian German, who's having himself a rookie year. It's not a great rookie year, but it's a rookie year. He is an 87 overall, so he's developing. He's going to be a stud. I just know it. He's going to be a stud. He just has to get the reps. That's why we're giving him the reps right now. But everybody else is having a really good year. Bagwell's killing it. Piazza's killing it. Everybody's doing well. Ripken's doing good, so I'm liking the way the team's looking. I think that we only made the one trade, right? Yeah, we kept Pedro on the team. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Everybody else is playing really well. I mean, Jose's having another Cy Young caliber season. We could take a look at the awards right now. We've got Giambi battling in the American League MVP. We don't have anybody fighting for it right now. Cy Young is Randy Johnson and Bob Gibson, even though Jose Fernandez is having an arguably better season. Whatever. They're giving it to Randy or Bob so far. We've got some guys battling for some awards, but we obviously have to keep playing good. And we're going to finish both months. We're going to finish August and September like usual in this episode. So let's strap in and get some simulating started here. We take a W in the first game, and we sweep the Mariners. That's a good start. Now we've got Piazza with a 10-game hitting streak on the line against Sonny Gray. I'm not going to jump in for a 10-game hitting streak, but I might jump in with a new addition, Ken Griffey Jr. We just traded for him. He's got a 2-home-run game. Try to make it 3. You know what? I might try to make it 3. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to jump in against the LA Angels and get Ken Griffey Jr. his 3rd home run of the day. As I was loading into this game, I did see that we actually lead Major League Baseball in stolen bases. We have 111, which is not something that I would have thought of. I wouldn't have thought we would have had that many stolen bases. I know we have a decent amount of fast players, but I didn't build this team to be fast. I built this team to hit home runs, which is why we have a lot of home run hitters on the team. So for us to be leading stolen bases is pretty fun. Not something I would have guessed, and I was super late on the 2-seam, and it's going to be the end of Griffey's day, or at least the end of this at-bat. Super late on that. That's frustrating, too, and we're not even going to get another chance at it. Ah, that's annoying. I really missed that. I wasn't trying to miss it, obviously. Ah, that's tough. That's real tough. Angels came back and made it a game, but we do get the win nonetheless, and we have swept the Angels. We are 85-34, taking on the Tigers. Now Bagwell's got a chance to hit an RBI. With 3-2, we're down in this game. You know what? I got to redeem myself. Let's jump in. All right, Buff Bagwell at the plate. Down 3-2, the top of the 9th in Detroit with a runner on first. Brian Wilson leads the league in saves, or the American League in saves. I'd say that was a pretty good addition in the offseason then. Come on, Bagwell. Ooh, I got a piece of that. That could get down. It's not going to. Darn it. That was a nice little piece of contact right there from Bagwell, but unfortunately not good enough as it goes into the glove of the left fielder. But it's Bo Jackson, Action Jackson. Here we go, Bo. I had a good reputation with you earlier in the series, but I've kind of lost that recently. See if I can get it back. I'd love a nice little piece of home run action here from Bo. Everybody knows that Bo knows. So let's see if Bo knows how to hit a home run here. Come on, Bo. Just pop it over the fence, and all is given, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be a double play, and the inning is over. And not only the inning, the game. We lose to Detroit, our first loss of the episode. And we will not sweep our third consecutive team. Ronald Acuna hit 2 home runs in that game. Satchel Paige, 7 innings? Are you kidding me? It's got to be the younger Satchel Paige. We lose that game, unfortunately. We come back. Griffey's up again. And we win that one 7-6. That's nice. Good job. A couple guys come back from injuries. We've only lost 1 game so far in the month. That's why I was saying the win record is in our reach, because we are just dominating everybody we play. But as I say that, I think I might have jinxed us. Bob Gibson has torn his finger ligament, and he is out for 1 to 2 months, which I think is the rest. Well, it's obviously the season, but it might dip into the postseason a little bit. That is a tough injury. What do we do? We got to call somebody up, I think. We don't have anybody that I want to put from the bullpen into the starting rotation that's like up and... Oops, I keep hitting the wrong thing. I don't have anybody from the bullpen that I would trust in the actual lineup that's already in the majors. So it looks like it's going to have to be maybe Takeo Roby. I mean, he's 25. He's a top 50 prospect. He's probably our best option. I mean, we could go Juan Gonzalez, but I don't think Juan Gonzalez is ready. Although he's having a really good season in AAA. Maybe he is ready. You know what? I'm going to call Juan Gonzalez. He might not be officially ready, but he's having a really good season, and we got really no other option. So Juan Gonzalez, you're going to get a shot at pitching in the Major League Baseball. Good luck. You're 21 years old. You had a really good season in AAA. Good luck. They don't have a good lineup, and Juan Gonzalez is actually out here for the first time. Can we win the game? Yes, we can. I think it was Juan's first game. 1-1 tie. We lose that one, actually. Okay. Beat the Royals there. And beat the Royals there. We have officially crossed over 90 wins. We are at 92. Beat the Padres. Garcia Parra. We beat them 8-7. We're having a lot of close games, but we are winning them. 2-0 there against the Padres. We sweep them. So we've lost 2 games in this entire month. 2 games in the entire month. We have a 28.5 game lead. And if we go to the standings, we haven't even clinched a playoff spot yet. I thought for sure we'd at least clinch a playoff spot. Even if we lost every single game the rest of the season, I think a playoff spot's still possible with 95 wins. Lose to the Marlins. Fernandez got a shutout going. He doesn't get the shutout, but he gets the win. Brian Wilson with another save opportunity. Absolutely. 7-6. The boys do be cooking slightly. Juan Gonzalez, Fernando Cruz in Double-A has a 6-month dislocated ankle. That's not good. We lose to the Reds. Did Juan Gonzalez get the win? He did. Okay, Juan, I see you out here. Vita Blue got the loss, actually. Can we beat the Reds, though? Oh, you know what? Bottom 9 with Bryce Harper. I have a good reputation with Bryce Harper in this game. I might try to cash that in here against Garrett Clevenger in the bottom of the 9th. All right, Bryce. All I need is one swing of the old baseball bat, and we can go out of here with a nice old W against the Reds. Not on that pitch, even though that's probably a strike. Thank you, umpire, for not calling it. All right, Clevenger. Just give me something right down the middle, and we can call it a night. Or I guess a day. It seems pretty light outside. It's 2-0. He seems pretty hesitant to throw me anything. He knows how dangerous Bryce can be. And Bryce is going to pop that in. That's a walk-off right there. Bryce Harper just did it. He bloops it in the left field, and that is a walk-off city for the Toronto Blue Jays. Pizza comes home, and the boys get a dub. And look at that, holding up Bryce. It wasn't a home run, but it is job done regardless. That's a nice win. Inches us closer to that good old-fashioned 100 wins. Is it possible for us to get to 100 wins by the end of the month? Oh, it is. All you have to do is win one more game against the Angels. And we've got Piazza with a 10-game hitting streak. Feels like he always had a 10-game hitting streak. We do get that one. We have officially surpassed 100 wins. And we win that one as well. Oh, the boys are cooking. We have to have... Oh, this is... this is the September call-ups. Well, this makes it a little bit more tricky now with September call-ups because we don't have... Or we lost our pitcher. I think it's going to be... Who's getting the call? Castellanos has 18 home runs in AAA. Only 28 home runs for Stan in AA. It's kind of embarrassing, actually. I think it's going to be... It's probably going to be David Ortiz, right? It's probably got to be David Ortiz. Maybe it's also Ellie. Because we can use Ellie as like a utility guy. I think I'm going to call Ellie up. Having a utility guy like that would be nice. And then... Do we call up another pitcher? Is it Felix Bautista to have in the bullpen? I think it is. I think that's a smarter decision than bringing up Big Papi. We bring up Felix Bautista. We have another guy in the bullpen in case we can't trust Mariano, who his ERA is kind of showing that we can't trust him really. So we're going to bring him up. We've crossed over 100 wins. We have clinched a playoff spot. No, we clinched a division. Never mind. The division is now out of reach. We can lose every single game and still win the division. That's pretty awesome. Let's keep moving, though, because we've got our sights set on history. Beltran needs a triple for the cycle. I never hit triples, but I'm going to try it for Beltran. All right, Carlos. We're in American Family Field here in Milwaukee. Those outfield gaps could lend themselves to a triple, especially with Beltran's got a little bit of speed to him. Nothing crazy, but a little bit of speed. If somebody makes a mistake out in the outfield, it's possible there could be a triple. Not if I'm swinging to stuff like that, though. That's for sure. Yeesh. Okay. That was not good. What do we got here, though? Maybe a little crack of the baseball bat. Ooh, early. Not ideal. That's maybe the triple I was looking for. That was a good pitch. Should have hit that. Don't swing at that. That's a check swing, strike 3. No, it's not. Thank God. A little bit worried there. Count is 2-2. It really should be 3-1, but I swung at that stupid slider. Matty Bum Bum. Oh, he threw a slider right down the middle. I was late. Now, I was early on the other pitch. Now I'm late on this one. Oh, I can't get the timing down, can I? I cannot get the timing down for Beltran. That one, I got a pretty good piece of it, but not good enough. Apparently goes right into the glove of the third baseman. And that is the game. We get the win. Santana gets another W, but I couldn't get him the triple. I probably should have. At least one of those pitches that was in the zone should have been a triple, to be honest with you, or at least a big-time hit. Cal Ripken's got 2 home runs. I don't know if he did it, but we are really dominating right now. Another win. We have 105. This has a legitimate shot. And Juan Gonzalez, talk about throwing him straight into the fire. I mean, he's making himself a case for Rookie of the Year already. I don't know if he's going to earn himself the time. Oh, we've got a lock for Cy Young. And Jose's finally jumped in. Thank God. Rookie of the Year. Julian German's battling for it. I wouldn't be surprised if... I don't know if he's going to have the time to. I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Juan Gonzalez jumps in there the way he's pitching. Cordero now has a shoulder tear. He's out for 1 to 2 months. Why are we getting these big long-term injuries late in the season? I don't like it. I know they're for the minor leagues, but still. White Sox beat us. Wow, okay. Bob Feller with a tough situation. He gets out of it. And we have not swept the Tampa Bay Rays, but we take 3 of 4. We have 110 wins. There is 3, 6, 9, 12 games left. That's a total of 132 wins on the table. No, that's not right. 122 wins. Why did I add another? My bad. I can't do math, apparently. It's late at night. It's late when I'm recording this. It's 120. I knew that wasn't right when I said it. It's 122 possible wins on the table if we win every single game, which I don't think we will. But that gives us a nice cushion to possibly get the record. Let's go against the Astros, who are god-awful. I didn't realize they were that bad. We take game 1. We lose game 2. I knew we'd slip up. And now Bryce Harper's torn his hamstring. Another massive injury. We didn't lose the game. I thought we did. Another massive injury. I mean, look at this 60-day list. Oh, That's tough. Gibson should be back for the playoffs, which is nice because we're going to need him. Bob Gibson was a Cy Young candidate before he tore his finger ligament. But Harper, I mean, that's probably the season and the playoffs done. I mean, it's obviously his regular season done, but it might also be his postseason done too. He was playing right field, so that means we could put Griffey in there. I think I'm going to put Griffey in there because he's having a better statistical season than Tony Gwynn. But now Griffey's playing center field, so we might as well. But now Beltran's healthy, or hot, so we'll switch that. There we go. We'll see how that works. 112 wins. We have... Oh, that's right. We have to call somebody up now because of the injury. So we will call up... Probably got to call up an outfielder. And it looks like it might be Wyatt Langford. Or maybe it's McCutcheon. It's Kutch. It's obviously Kutch. We'll call up Andrew McCutcheon. 112 wins. Julian German has 2 home runs in the day. You know, I got to jump in and represent the rookie, obviously. All right, here is Julian German trying to win the Rookie of the Year. He's in the running. I don't know if he'll get it. If he has a good day today, maybe he will. First pitch swinging. I don't like that he's got a running fastball. It's not something you see every day, so I'm not used to it. We do have a runner on first. We're winning 10-7. We're sitting pretty comfortable. That's a nice little rip. That could be it. Oh, I didn't get enough on it. It felt pretty decent off the bat. Unfortunately, German doesn't get the 3rd home run, but we do secure the win, 10-7. German's the player of the game. Feller gets the W. Brian Wilson gets his 50th save of the season. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. How many more wins can we amass? We lose game 1 to the Rangers. We lose game 2 to the Rangers. We lose game 3. We get swept by the Texas Rangers. That is not what I was looking for, because now we have 113 wins. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We only have 1 game of cushion remaining with that 3-game sweep. To a decent Rangers team, but still, we are clearly better than them. If we want to get the record, we basically have to win out. We have to sweep the Yankees and sweep the Cubs. We have 1 game that we can lose. And there it is. We just lost it. So now we have to win every single game if we want to get the record. We win that game. We win that game. And this is just to tie it. We won't even, now that we lost that game to the Yankees, we won't even break the record. We'll just tie it. And we lost it. We lose to the Cubs right there. We do win that game. And the final game of the season we win. We come 1 game short of tying the all-time wins record in Major League Baseball. That is just brutal. I would have rather have not gotten close than to come 1 game short. How do we lose to the Yankees and Cubs? That's annoying. Okay. Frustrating that we got that close and lost it. If you're curious about the league leaders and any of the stats, just going through them very, very quickly, nonchalant. If you want to take a closer look at each stat, you can pause it, obviously. But we'll take a look at the awards and then the stats on the season as well for our individual players. Oh, I'm annoyed by that, mostly. Jason Giambi takes home the MVP. He hit 53 home runs. Well-deserved. Jose Fernandez secures his 2nd Cy Young of the series. Yeah, 2nd Cy Young of the series. Jose Fernandez is a dog. Pedro was close, and so was Randy Johnson, but Jose gets it. Giambi takes home the batting title. Brian Wilson takes home reliever of the year because he had a 1.95 ERA and 54 saves, so he was obviously a stud. Rookie of the year, unfortunately, does not go to Julian German because his average was not high enough. I thought we were going to get it. It goes to Andy Pages. Giambi takes home the Hank Aaron and the Triple Crown. Congratulations to Jason Giambi. Fantastic season. Way better than what he'd been doing previously, so he must have figured something out. Mackenzie Gore gets Gold Glove. Here are all the Gold Gloves for the American League. We'll go through all the National League very quickly as well. Silver Sluggers, we get Piazza. We get nobody else. Wow, okay, so not as many awards as I thought we were going to win. Hank Aaron takes home another MVP. Skubal gets a Cy Young. Mantle gets the batting title and the Hank Aaron. Falls just short of the Triple Crown. And here are all your Gold Gloves for the National League and all your Silver Sluggers for the National League if you're curious as to who did what. And now it is time to take a look at the stats. How did each individual player do for us? We know they have Tekoa Roby up here. Why? Why would you call Gonzalez down? He had maybe he shouldn't be up here, but I mean, he's got to be up here because we don't have Bob Gibson ready. I think Bob is still hurt. So add to the playoff roster, remove Roby from the playoff roster, and we'll stick with Juan Gonzalez for right now until Bob comes back. Bullpen's good. Closing pitchers are good. Catcher, yep. Oh, they swapped David Ortiz and Frank Thomas. Okay, we'll swap that back. So we'll take you down. Good second base. Third base, good. They took Julian German down. Don't like that. So we'll call him back up. And then they brought up... Why did they bring up Wyatt Langford and bring down Bo Jackson? What are you doing here? Why would you ever think that's a good idea? And then... Okay, so... But Bryce Harper's hurt, I think, right? So can we remove him? He's currently... I can't remove him because he's injured? Oh, that's unbelievable. All right, well, we got to call somebody else down. I guess it's Ellie de la Cruz again? Because I'm keeping Julian German down or up. So who else gets called down? Maybe it's Felix Bautista? Yeah, we're going to call Bautista down from the playoff roster. Okay. Actually, we should probably put Mariano on take him off the playoff roster. That's probably the smarter idea. Okay, there we go. So our injured list, 16 days. Bob should be back if we make a deep run, which is nice. We'll just have to add him to the playoff roster. But Bryce is done for the playoffs, I think. Unless maybe like game 6 or 7 of the World Series, possibly, but I doubt it. I hope we don't even have to go to the game 6 or 7 of the World Series. But let's take a look at this. So we've got, we'll switch this quickly. Okay. We've got ourselves Johan Santana. 14 wins, 212 innings pitched, 170 strikeouts. Not bad at all. Not what he was putting up last couple of years or even the first year. But still, pretty solid. I mean, he was in contention for the Cy Young at the end. Johan Santana had 3.55 ERA, 1.23 whip, and a 1.4 WAR. That's a solid season. Nothing like he was doing previously, but it's still a very, very solid season. Randy Johnson, also in contention for the Cy Young, 16 wins in 220 even. That's pretty cool. And then 243 strikeouts. He's always at the top of the strikeout list because that's just kind of the way that he is. 3.35 ERA, 1.20 whip, and a 4.3 WAR. Very good season from Randy. Jose, obviously, he won the Cy Young, 17 wins. He had 226 strikeouts, 3.14 ERA, 1.07 whip, and a 4.3 WAR. I don't know if there's necessarily Cy Young numbers, but those are very good numbers, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if they're Cy Young numbers. Pedro, we gave him a chance, and he really impressed me. 18 wins, 222 strikeouts, 3.66 ERA, 1.15 whip, and a 4.3 WAR. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint me in the postseason because that's kind of what happened last year. One of the reasons why we lost in the ALDS is because he didn't pitch very well. And then Juan Gonzalez, he had 8 games started. He pitched 43 innings, 4.4 ERA, 1.33 whip. He was kind of thrown in the fire. He didn't play horrible, but he pitched like a rookie against legends. So he did what you would expect. And then the bullpen, Vida Blue, 9 wins in 51 innings, 3.51 ERA. Obviously, nothing's going to touch what he did last year. That's just phenomenal. But he had a good season. He's getting older, too. Starting to regress a little bit, even at 25. Bob Feller, we brought him in last season at the deadline. He pitched in 112 innings, actually. We were working him like a dog. And he had 132 strikeouts, 3.77 ERA, 1.21 whip. Very good season. Very, very good season from Bob Feller. Goose pitched in 72 innings. Had a 2.24, 1.01. Very good season. That's one of his best seasons. Probably since the first season he was here. Very, very good season from Goose. Really good year. Felix, he only pitched in 5 innings. He got shelled, but hopefully in the postseason he does better. That's basically my review of Felix Bautista. Raleigh Fingers, he had 18 holds. That's nice. 28 innings pitched, 1.61 ERA. Wow, he killed it this year in his inning. He didn't get a lot of innings, only 28, but in the 28 innings, he pitched really, really well. Brian Wilson, obviously, he dominated. 54 saves is unbelievable. 60 innings pitched. He only had 3 blown saves the entire season, which is amazing. A 1.95 ERA in 60 innings is crazy for a closer. .78 whip, and a .9 WAR. I mean, Brian Wilson deserves the awards that he earned. He deserves the reliever of the year, that's for sure. Then we get to, that's all the bullpen guys. We get to the lineup. So good old Jackie. He had 12 home runs, 46 RBIs. He played in 103 games because I think we moved him to starter late in the season. 295 average, 392 OBP, 485 slug. Fairly solid season from Jackie as the leadoff man. Ripken always does fairly well. I mean, he always has those multi-home run games in the jump-ins. 30 home runs, 278 average, 334 OBP, 470 slug. That's a respectable season from Cal. I mean, it's what he's been doing. He's very, very consistent. Jeff Bagwell, also very consistent in terms of just hitting bombs. 38 home runs, 292. He's never going to hit amazingly. I mean, he hit 334 this year, but he's never going to hit like amazingly good averages consistently like he does hit bombs. But he's a very consistent player in terms of just, you know, you're going to get like 35, 40 home runs a season from him. Then we move to Carlos Beltran, who kind of swapped reps with DiMaggio for most of the season until we traded him, and then swapped with Griffey, I guess. So he's kind of in and out of the lineup, starting here and there, and still did fairly good for Carlos, but he is regressing, unfortunately, or at least lowering his overall. The Pizza Man, Mike Piazza, had 32 home runs, 298 average. I mean, it's best season since he's been part of the Blue Jays, so it's only up from here for Piazza. And then Griffey, obviously, we made the trade for him at the deadline. He had 30 home runs. I'm really hoping that he can just keep doing that and have 30 home runs every single year, or 30 or more, I guess. But he had a really good season hitting over 300. He was slugging pretty well. He had a great OPS. He had a pretty solid WAR. I mean, it was a good trade. I'm happy we made the trade for him. George Brett, 108 games, 20 home runs. I think he got hurt again this year. Or no, he didn't get hurt. It was Garcia Parra that got hurt this year. Brett was healthy, I'm pretty sure. But a fine season. And then we're back to Jackie. Josh Gibson, he played in 43 games. He had a 192. Josh hasn't really done much since we brought him over. Kind of unfortunate. I was hoping he'd have more of an impact, but he hasn't really played too much, to be fair to him. Tony Gwynn, he had 45 games played. Guess he didn't really play too much. I thought he played more than that. 7 home runs, not really a power guy, though. 272 average. I'm expecting him to have better average, even though he had limited reps. I thought he'd have better average than that. Maybe he's fallen off. Who knows? Frank Thomas, obviously we know what Frank is doing. 26 home, although he significantly dropped off his power. That's kind of concerning, actually. 29. Maybe that's why they took him off the playoff roster when we had to sub him back in. Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan only had, I think he had 282 at bats. That's not nothing. That's obviously not the 400 he was getting last year, but still, 282 at bats is not bad. And 8 home runs out of it, kind of shocking, especially when he was putting up 33 last year in half the at bats. I understand, but still, you think he'd get over double digits. And then we're to Julian German, who was battling for the Rookie of the Year. A rookie season for Julian German at 19 years old, going up against all these legends, and he's up to a 90 overall. This dude is going to be a 99. That's just the way that it is. He's that type of guy. And to this day, he is the greatest draft pick I have ever made in MLB The Show history. I just hate it that he had to be in this series and not like the Padres or the Bolts, where he could have been used even more and more important, more impactful. But he's here in Toronto, and he's a very good player. He'll just continue to get better. Too bad he couldn't win Rookie of the Year. Bo Jackson, we know what he was doing. He kind of slipped up a little bit, but still had a very, very solid season, as you would expect. He's Bo Jackson. Nomar, we took him out. We substituted him with George Brett halfway through the year when he got hurt, and then he never really did much. He was kind of cooling off before he got hurt anyway, so kind of unfortunate after the season that he had last year. I mean, look at these numbers he had last year. Elliot of the Cruz, we called him up. He had 24 at-bats, didn't really get to do much. Struck out 9 times in those 24 at-bats. That's kind of funny. But he'll get some utility stuff in the postseason, I would think. So that is your season stats for this 4th season. We need to get the lineup correct. So we need to have Frank the Tank be the DH, I would assume. Who's this position? That's left field. So we need to have Bo be in left field. And then Frank being the DH because Bagwell's playing first. So there we go. I'm cool with that. All right. So that's the lineup. We will find out who we're playing, and then we'll wrap up the episode. So we are playing the Detroit Tigers, who we played, right? We played them this episode, I think. Yeah, we played them up here, and we beat them 2-1. I don't think we played them anymore. No. So we should be able to handle them pretty easily. They didn't have that great of a year. They got Satchel Paige, and we're taking them on. We're the number 1 seed pretty obviously because we won freaking 117 games. 1 game away. We were 40 games ahead of the Yankees. That's kind of wild, actually. The AL East sucked this year, except for us. 1 game away from the record is very frustrating. I would have wished we wouldn't even have got close if we were gonna if I knew we were gonna get 1 game away. But that's the way things go sometimes. Next episode will be the postseason. I'm excited because we've won the World Series already in this series. Funny enough, in year number 2, but it's year number 4. We lost in the ALDS last year. I don't want that to happen again. I want to win another World Series, so that happens, hopefully, in the next episode. If you enjoyed this one, though, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.